Okay, so welcome everyone from my side as well to the Dev Dive session, Go Deeper and Automate Smarter. So you are already aware of the Dev Dives webinar series. So today's session is about mining your data with AI-powered continuous discovery and how tools Rohit has already explained you, so I'm not going to spend time over here. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A panel and we would take them from there directly. And also towards the end, we'll try to save some time for Q&A, live Q&A as well. So, yeah. And here are your today's speaker, myself, Jyoti Raghav, Principal Technical Enablement Engineer at UiPath. And I'm going to speak about the different products that we have under Discovery Suite and how, with the help of AI and continuous discovery, you can identify the highest ROI areas for automation and process improvement. And I'm joined along with my colleague, Anja. She's also Principal Technical Enablement Engineer again at UiPath, and she will be helping us with the Q&A that you might have, and you can put them in the Q&A panel. So a quick agenda, we'll start with the introduction to continuous discovery. Then we have a use case and we'll show you the live demo, and towards the end, some time for Q&A. So you might be already aware that Discovery has 4 different products: process mining, task mining, automation hub, and communications mining. So before jumping to the session, we would like to understand how many of you attending the session today have experience with these different products. So I would request Rohit to launch a poll where we can take your inputs. Thank you, Rohit. So even if you don't have any experience, that should be fine. We are going to give you some good overview in today's session. And yep.
Feel free to choose multiple options if you have experience with multiple.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I can see 58% has already answered the question. I can see many people have experience with Automation Hub.
Maybe we can give last 10 seconds for everyone to just answer.
Yeah, sure. Okay, perfect. I think I'll end the poll and then we can see the results. How many of you have experience with? Perfect. So we can see like 28 people have experience on Automation Hub. That's a good number. So communications mining and process mining, not many people have experience with. So don't worry, we are going to give you a good overview so that you get some understanding of these products, how you can utilize it to handle any use cases of automation in your organization, or maybe the process improvement areas for your processes. So thank you for responding to the poll. And now let's move to the next slide. Okay, there's some glitch. Let me quickly. Yeah, sure. So to draw the parallel between gold and data, in the traditional days during the gold rush, people came from far and wide to dig for physical treasure in the form of valuable gold nuggets. And today, when we are in the digital era where data has become as important like gold, companies are searching data far and wide for digital treasure in the form of, again, golden insights. So they're looking into systems, they are interviewing people, and they're approaching different aspects to understand how the processes are being performed by employees in the organization. So, and what we have seen that they're using different primitive tools. So these tools could be your business intelligence tool. so which allows them to see certain KPIs, but they don't get insights why certain KPIs are trending and others are not. Similarly, the case with the spreadsheet analysis. Like you can load the data, you can create the pivot tables, but tell me how much data you will load. And we have seen that once you load a huge data in the spreadsheet, it becomes really bulky and then it takes a lot of time. It plays with the patience, right? It not even it, we face so many difficulty in just opening the Excel file. So how would you do the analysis with the spreadsheet? Then next is a process mapping workshop. So process mapping workshop where a bunch of stakeholders gather around and speak about like how the process is performing and what exactly the process looks like. And these kind of workshops never come to any kind of conclusion because people speak their different language. For example, if somebody's experienced on some part, they'll just keep on talking about that. Like I have seen some issues in that area, but that might not be the real scenario. And then the interviews that we usually do, we sit with process experts and try to understand basically from their perspective how the process is performing and where are the opportunities in the process to bring automation in the whole process. So these are the, I would say, the traditional approach that organizations usually follow. However, using these tools, they might get some insight on the surface level, but the actual insights about the process, the different variations about your process always get buried under the surface. So you don't get insights about, you might understand some of the low hanging fruits for automation, but to understand the complex process where different departments are involved and to understand like how the process is being performed by different employees in the different departments. So those level of information still is uncovered due to the issues that you face using these primitive tools. So what do we suggest as UiPath? So from UiPath, we have the continuous discovery, which is like adding an excavator to set of your discovery tools. So under discovery platform, we started with the poll, like how many of you have experience? So I can see at least people are aware of these different products. So we have different products like process mining, task mining, communications mining, and automation hub. That is your idea capture and management. They must be wondering why we have different products instead of like having single product to do the discovery. So this doesn't mean that these products are working in silos. So these different products have their own responsibilities and own tasks that they can perform. So let me explain you in a very simple way. For example, the process mining focuses on the end-to-end process. Excuse me, end-to-end process, and it feds on the data that processes leave behind in the system. So with the help of that data, that is nothing but the log files, you understand it generates a process graph for you, and then you understand the different sub-processes involved in your process. But process mining cannot help you understand the desktop level information. For example, how actually that particular process is being performed by your users, by your employees on their desktop, which application they are opening, which screen they are navigating to. Or maybe if they are opening Outlook, or maybe if they are fetching data from some certain document. So this you cannot understand from process mining. So for that, task mining comes into action. So you can utilize task mining to capture all the actions, all the steps that your employees are performing as part of as part of their day-to-day task. And the output of the task mining is nothing but your PDD, and it can be your XAML file that can be utilized further by your developers to utilize it for automation building, and the document can be utilized as a source of truth, which they can refer as like the step-wise guide to build the automation. And then we have the communications mining. So when we speak about process, then there could be different kind of conversations happening around the process. So it could be like you're receiving some queries from your customers, or you are receiving some feedback from your customers, or even the communications happening along the employees, in between the employees. So how do you deep dive into those communications? Because there is also a lot of data hidden in these conversations. So to get insights about these communications, whether my customer is happy or not, the feedback that you're receiving from your customers, what kind of different requests are coming to from your customers in your shared mailbox. So all that information you get from communications mining. Communications mining is a natural language processing tool. With the help of AI, it helps you understand different kind of communication. It categorizes all the conversations that are flowing into your channel and categorize them to help you better understand for what kind of request my customer is reaching out most. And then you have the idea capture and management, which is your automation hub. So automation hub, a single platform, irrespective of whether you have sourced the idea from the process mining or from the task mining or directly from your employees, you can manage them under automation hub. That is your one single platform. So these discovery tools help you identify the highest ROI opportunities from every data source and prioritize them by the biggest impact in automation hub. So here, as I mentioned about the process mining, that it focuses on the end-to-end process. So first you start with the process mining. For example, it could be your any process like the purchase to pay, your order to cash, or your employee onboarding, or maybe any different process. So if you speak to your process experts about the process, they will tell you that, okay, these are the 5 steps that are happening in my process. But there could be some other different steps which are not happening as part of the happy path, but are there somewhere in between happening. Maybe some information is missing. So there is some other process that gets triggered to collect that information. So process mining reveals all those different variations. And as I mentioned in the previous slide, that it takes logs that are in your system. So basically in log, you need key information, that is your case ID, event ends, and the activity details. So these are 3 key attributes that your process mining requires. And once if you have these 3 attributes, you can create your process mining app. And if you provide more details in your log files, that allows you more slicing and dicing options in the process mining app. Then the task mining, so whether your employees are opening an email or copying some information, pasting it into system of records, or whatever action, whatever keystroke level information or actions they are doing on their desktop, that can be recorded using task mining. So you deploy a client application on their machine, and that way you capture all the steps and create a process definition document and a XAML file. With the communications mining, you automatically interpret and extract data from unstructured messages with the help of a natural language processing. And finally, once you gathered all the information, you automate it using UiPath Studio. So now I will hop over to the demo, and for today's demo, we are going to focus on the order to cash process. But here you can see there are many different other processes. So the key requirement is that the process should have logs, and the logs should have 3 key attributes: case ID, event end, and the activities. So, but today we are focusing on order to cash, and we'll start with process mining because process mining basically focuses on the end-to-end process. So I'm in the process mining environment on my cloud, and here you can see there are these 2 different tabs. So the first tab is basically about like all the apps that are in production, or you have published the app. So all the production apps will be displayed under the process app. And the apps that are still in the development phase, or if you want to create a new app, you can navigate to the development tab and okay, let it load. So at this state, you can create new app, you can view whatever apps are in development state. Let me quickly provide you the experience of creating a new app, which is very simple with UiPath process mining. So here you can see there are a number of templates available. So based on the process or the system that you are using, you can utilize, you can decide the template. For example, I've decided to use order to cash and consider that it is happening in the SAP application. So I can pick up this app template. Otherwise, if some other organization are working on Oracle EBS or NetSuite or JDE, they can pick the other templates that are available over here. So the benefit over here is that you need not to start from scratch. you can utilize these already pre-built templates and create your app as quickly as possible. And what if, you must be thinking, what if there's no app template available for my process and the applications? So for that, those kind of scenarios, we also have generic app templates, which you can use. But for now, let's go to the order to cash app template, and let me quickly show you the experience of creating an app. So you just provide the name for your app, click on next, and at the screen, you select the data source, which is basically the input. So you can use either your third-party extractor, that is Qbolt, CData, and if you have data directly available in the CSV file, so you can also upload them directly in the platform. Or if you are completely new to process mining, you can also use this sample data option, which allows you basically play around in the app. And you need not to upload any file over here. There are already some files kept and in the background and will be uploaded for your sample app. And then you have you upload data using extractor. So UiPath also have a data uploader tool. So you can also utilize it. And the benefit of utilizing this data uploader tool would be that if for some reason that the connection breaks or for any reason, if the upload fails, the uploader tool will automatically retry to upload the data again. And here we have to select the process model. So process model is nothing but which model you would want process mining to use to create your process mining app. So consider that your business team has already created some BPMN model, so you can utilize it, but only BPMN 2.0 is supported at the moment. Or if you have processes which are complex in nature where multiple activities are happening in parallel, so for those kind of scenarios, you can use Discover process model and then the directly follow. So for now, we are going to use just the directly follows. And at the screen, you can review the details and click on submit, and your app will be created in a couple of minutes. But I'm not going to do that because it will take some time. So have already created an app beforehand and kept it open so that just to save some time. So let's look at it. So I'm here in my order to cash app, process mining app, and consider that you are completely new. You don't know how to get started. Your team has given you this app and loaded the data and given you this app and asked you to do the analysis. So for the beginners, what you can do, there is this under the end-to-end process menu. There is this option of process inefficiencies. Basically, platform automatically identifies certain inefficiencies in your process and present in front of you. So you can prioritize like which process inefficiency is affecting most to your process and then do your analysis based on that. But today I'm not going to use these auto identified process inefficiencies. Rather, I will focus on something else. So here under the summary dashboard, I can see multiple KPIs and consider that I am from the COE team and working for automation, to improving automations in my organization. So let's first look at some specific year data instead of looking at the journal data, so that it will be easier to compare it later. So I'm in year 2015 and as an automation COE team member, my focus is to improve automation. Right now, I can see it is 36% automated. My process is this much automated, which is not bad, but definitely I would want this to improve. And then I can see that the total event processing time is like showing a very big number, so many days it is taking to complete. So I want to reduce the manual processing time, and I know that this can be done using automation. So if I improve the automation rate in my process, automatically the event processing time, which is manual event processing time, will come down. So we'll see how we can identify the opportunities to bring down the processing time. And as an automation COE team member, this is my personal goal. But I also need to be mindful that the delivery heads of order to cash department, what are their end goals. So after speaking to them, so their main focus is on improving customer satisfaction, improving the overall process. So we will also look at that as well. So now let's start with, so our focus is on reducing the manual processing time. So I'll go back to the end-to-end process menu, and here I can view my process graph. Let me reduce the number of variants. It would be easier to view. And here in the process graph, I can see the different steps that are happening in my process. So my focus is on event processing time. So I will select the metric over here, total event processing time. And I can see that, let me zoom in a little bit so that you can also see. So if you see over here that create sales order is taking more than 4,000 days, same with the create sales order item, the delivery item is taking 182 days, and same delivery billing date is taking 18 days. So in my overall process, I can see that create sales order and create sales order item are the activities where most of the time people are spending, my employees are spending. So this gives me a quick view of like, okay, maybe something can be improved in for these two scenarios, or these two processes. And before jumping to dig deeper into these two activities, let me quickly show you one interesting feature of process mining. So here, this is an animation feature. So if you will just start this, you can view your case IDs flowing through your graph. And at any point, if you find any weird behavior, for example, if you find that some particular case is navigating to the path which it should not, you can pause it and you can just click on that particular case, and it will take you to the individual case detail. So this is how like easily you can also look at case level detail in your app. So coming back to my manual processing time, so I identified from here, it looks like these two activities are taking most of the time, and my analysis is requires reducing manual processing time with the help of automation. So for that, we have an automation potential dashboard. So I will jump directly to automation potential dashboard. But based on your requirement, what's your analysis goal? You can navigate to different routes of analysis. In the beginning, I showed you some of the inefficiencies are automatically identified by the process. So based on your requirement, the analysis can be done in the app. So in my automation potential dashboard here, you can see these are the activities listed. These are all the unique activities which are part of my process listed over here, and I can view the manual processing time, the FTs involved, and let's quickly sort it by manual processing time. And here again, I can see that create sales order and create sales order item are the activities which are taking most of the time of employees. Close to 34 employees are involved in create sales order. Similarly, with create sales order item, 33 FTs are working on it, and they're spending a lot of hours on working these processes. And if I check the automation rate, so there is a part of these processes which is automated. So if I see currently it is like 37% automated. And this dashboard gives me an option to do the automation simulation. This is the toggle that you can toggle on, and because I did already the simulation, and that's why it's automatically took me here. Otherwise, it will take you to this screen where you have to answer a few of the questions, and based on your response, it will generate these values for you. So if I see over here, currently it is 37% automated, but it has potential to automate by 61% more. Similarly, if you automate it like by 61% more, it will bring down the manual processing time to 27 hours, 27,000 hours, which is basically a great saving in terms of hours. It's reducing by 42,000 hours. And similarly for the FTs, earlier it was 33, but after automation, you will have a saving of 20 FTs. So which sounds definitely great. But though it is satisfactory for me, but overall, I'm not sure if it is aligned with the goal of my organization in overall. So what I can do, I can submit it to Automation Hub, and in Automation Hub, I can compare my this create sales order idea against the other ideas that has been sourced from process mining or task mining, or maybe from a crowdsourced from the employees, and then we can prioritize based on what matters most to your organization and which is aligned to your organization's goal. So I've already submitted it in Automation Hub and we can view it over here. So if I little scroll down, so this is a decision pipeline, and here you can see all these bubbles are nothing but the ideas that has been submitted to Automation Hub. And this is my create sales order automation idea. And here you can see it is great in automation potential. It has great ease of implementation, and it's providing me good number of saving in terms of hours. And the size of the bubble depicts that it's overall a good saving. So now I have some data back, like I can basically prioritize this because I can see it compared to other ideas, giving me more savings. So now the time is to create a strong use case, and I can so that I can present it to the committee who will take the final decision for the buy-ins. So I have the idea profile, automation profile over here. Sorry, yeah. I have the automation idea profile over here, and under this cost benefit analysis tab, you can also view the savings for the next 2 years. So the pre-automation cost was 2 million, and the savings for next 2 years after automation would be 1 million, and then there is post-automation cost as well. So the tools that you would be using as part of the automation, so those will definitely cost you something. But after that, the net benefit that you will get is 1 million. So now I have some data which I can present to my steering committee, and that will help them to take the decision and approve this idea for automation. So consider that I got the approval from for to go ahead for this automation. So what next? Should I just give it to my developers? Of course not, because at this stage, developers has literally no idea how the task being performed as part of this process. So what we can do, we can go to this documentation tab. Under this tab, we have this task mining. So as I mentioned in the beginning, in the slides, that task mining helps you to capture the actions that are part of your process. So you can create a task mining project and ask here the team who is performing the create sales order manually, and automatically task mining will record all these steps that are part of your process. So we already have the task mining project created for you. So let me quickly show you. So we invited multiple different people to record their variations, because it completely depends on the employees how they're performing the task. There might be some edge cases scenario that employees are covering as part of the process. So what I did, I invited multiple people, and once the recording was done, everything was uploaded in the task mining portal, and I utilized this merge traces, which allows me to merge different variations to get the comprehensive view of my process. So now this is my comprehensive view. Let me toggle on the preview of the action that has been taken. So here you can see this is my overall process. It starts with opening the email, and you can see here there's a document attached purchase order item. And then if I look at the next step, so it's navigating to the SAP application, moving to the different screens of SAP, and then creating the sales order, and some more steps in SAP application, and finally replying back to the customer. So the overall process looks really straightforward, that you open the email, you identify the request, you open the attachment, you read the data from the attachment, you log in into SAP, you navigate to multiple screens, enter the data, and finally create the purchase order and reply back to your customer. So this is straightforward, but when I spoke to these people who captured these different variations, I got to know that it's a shared mailbox and they receive different kind of requests from their customers. Sometimes it's related to new orders, sometimes it's related to order status, sometimes it's a ticket, sometimes they are facing some issue with payments, so they are reaching out for some kind of payment related issue or maybe order status, or maybe if order is delayed. So they are reaching out, the customers are reaching out to the team with different kinds of requests. And the team is using a shared mailbox where all the requests are flowing in. So the challenge is, how would we identify if a request is coming in for a new purchase order? So like as a traditional approach, like not a traditional, I would say, because we are still doing it, we'll automate multiple different keywords based on how customers is writing the email. We'll take some of the samples and we'll try to automate all those keywords. Like if there's a new order keyword in the email, then that's a new order request. But we all know that customers can be very unpredictable. Sometimes they write something that you expect, and sometimes they write something that you have never expected in their request. So how to deal with these kind of requests, and how to deal with identifying the new order request in the email. So there's when communications mining come into action, and basically you load some couple of samples in your communications mining platform, and you handhold the platform and train it, like which entities you would like to pull out from these communications, what are the different labels that you're looking for. And once the training is done, training is pretty simple in our communications mining platform. It generates a categorization where you can see the different kind of requests coming to the shared mailbox from customers. So here you can see customers are reaching out to the team regarding existing order, status update, new order, delivery related, issue related, payment urgent, and so on. You can also dig deeper, like what are the requests under the existing orders. It could be like the change order, amendment, cancellation, review, and so on. But today our focus is on new orders, so we will look at new orders only. So, and here I have filtered, I'm again in communications mining platform, and I have filtered the emails over here which are tagged as new order. So if you see on this page, everything is tagged as a new order. And if I look at these emails, I can see that customers are attaching some attachments, purchase order attachments. Sometimes the information is also available directly in the email body. So like, for example, if you see over here, there's directly purchase order detail in the subject of the email. So these kind of scenarios can be easily tackled by communications mining. Once a model is trained, once a model is able to identify the new order request, and if the data is directly coming into the email body or subject, a communications mining model can fetch it for you. But if the request has an attachment to it, you can send it to document understanding. So if you are familiar with document understanding product, which is again a UiPath product, that helps you fetch different data points, different data from your documents, different kind of documents, be it structured, unstructured, and so on. So you can club communications mining and document understanding, and then your developers can build the automation, which will only be triggered when a new email arrives in your inbox and model identifies it as a completely new order request. And once model identifies it triggers the automation, and yeah, your automation will execute. And it will perform the steps that your employees were performing as part of new order creation. So now this was about the communications mining. I hope you got some idea about it. And now let's assume that the automation has been already built. So let me quickly go back to my slides and show you how the automation would look like. So let me play it. Okay. So here you can see there's a new request coming in and it has a purchase order attached. And communications mining model has identified it as a new request. So the automation utilized the document understanding to fetch the details from the attachment, then logged in into SAP application, entered the data on the corresponding screen to create the new order. And once the order is created, what stops the automation? So we looked at how the automations looked like, and it looks really nice that how we came from identifying the idea to our automation. But now the question comes, our initial our initial core interest was to reduce the manual processing time. And now we have implemented the automation. Consider that it's been running in production for some time now. So now let's go back to the process mining environment and see whether it has really improved. Uh, it has really improved with automation or not. So what I'll do, I will go to my summary dashboard and I will enter in compare mode. So we were looking at the data from 2015. So let's look at the data from next year. And here you can see earlier the automation rate was 37%, and now it has shoot to 74%, which is really good in terms of how like we have finally achieved our requirements. And if you see that even processing time from 9,000 days has come down to 2,011 days, which is again good savings. And if you look at all these basically KPIs over here, so the orange one is basically from the past year, and these pink one are from 2016 data. So if you look at these KPIs, you might notice something which is not in very much favor of what we are working towards. So for example, like if you see that the late deliveries has been impacted negatively. So this is where the continuous discovery comes into action. So we identified one area in the process and we automated it. We created the automation, we automated it, we deployed it, and it definitely improved the automation rate and also improved the manual processing time, basically reduced the manual processing time. So sometimes what happens, you focus on one area, you work on that, so it impacts some other part of the area negative in the negative direction. And this is what happened with the late deliveries. So late deliveries are now almost doubled. So we need to understand why this happened. So what we can do, we can quickly come out from the compare mode. So let me quickly delete all this and we will see at the late deliveries. So what is the reason behind these late deliveries? And let's look at the overall data instead of looking at a specific year. And if required, you can see there's a filter option. If required, you can also filter data for various elements. If you are interested in looking at specific payment terms, for example, let's look at a specific payment term. And then we will jump into understanding the reason behind the late deliveries. And I'm adding one more filter for late delivery. So I want to look at the data where late deliveries are happening. So now I can navigate to the root cause analysis dashboard to understand the root cause behind the late deliveries. And for that, let's add shipping point country to understand where the late deliveries are happening. And we can also add another layer of material group. So here, if you see, I've zoomed in a little bit. In Germany, these are the a few products for which late deliveries are happening. And let's filter it for Germany, and I can quickly easily filter directly from here. And if I reduce the node limit, I can easily view that these are the items which are causing late deliveries. So now what? I have identified the items that are causing the late deliveries. I can also identify who are the users responsible for these particular items. So I can add a new layer of user, and that's what I mentioned in the beginning, how many whatever data you will provide in the input file along with the mandatory fields and that those many slicing dicing options you will see in the process mining app. So here you can see that I can now view the users. So as a next step, what I can do, I already have an automation enabled here for this particular section. And now I can inform the manager who's sitting in Germany about these late deliveries, and he will have all the information about like which are the cases sales order item are impacted by the late deliveries, and I can trigger the automation so that an email will shoot to him and he will be notified with all the required details. So this is basically like how you work. So you with the continuous discovery, so you identify a certain area, you work on it, and then you see if it has negatively impacted any other area of your process, and then you pick up that impacted area, you work on it, you improve the process, and then you analyze the impact of your new deployment that you have done in your process. So and that's all the continuous discovery is about. So yeah, that's all I have from continuous discovery. But before I before we jump to the Q&A, let me also show you some of the interesting features which are part of the process mining, because the session is mainly for developers. So I thought it would be interesting to show you some of the features. So I showed you in the beginning that you can enter, like there are production and development apps. So you can enter into development mode or in the edit mode for any of the process mining apps just by clicking this pencil icon. So I've already opened an app in the edit mode, and here you can see I can do multiple stuff. For example, I want to do some transformation. So I'll just go to the data transformation, and instead of like downloading everything in my local, setting up Visual Studio and installing SQL and all that stuff, I can do everything in the platform itself. So I can view my data, like this is the input data that I supplied. So I can view the data that is available in the table. I can view all my files, and if required, I can add new tables, I can add new fields, I can run my queries, I can edit the queries that are there, and then I can quickly run my queries. If required, I can add tables. So if you have loaded a new file, you want it to reflect back in your process mining app, so you can add the table. And once you're done doing all the changes, you can apply to dashboard. You can finally run it and then apply to dashboard so that your changes will be reflected back to your process mining app. And apart from that, like if you want to do some customization from the UI perspective, so if you want to display some more KPIs over here in the summary section, so you can easily do that. You can select what should be displayed over here, or if you want to, okay, I think I got logged out. But I think you got the idea of like how easily you can do the customization in case you want to create new KPIs. So that is also possible. All the automatic operations that you would perform while creating an KPI, so that you can do directly on the process mining platform. And I think I'll go back to the slides. And that was the demo. And I hope you got some good understanding how these different products are connected and they are not working in silos, and how they can help you in your automation journey, in your process improvement journey. So process mining, just to recap, process mining utilizes the log data that your processes leave behind in the system. And the key attributes that you need in your log file is case ID, activities, and your event and details. Then the task mining, which can be utilized to capture all the actions that your user are doing as part of the process, and which will give you as the output the PDB file or the XAML skeleton that can be utilized by your developers. The communications mining, to work with all the communications, because in communications, you can identify, like by analyzing your communications, you can identify what your customers is talking about the product. Are they happy So it can be any feedback channel where your customers are submitting feedback. You can get insights on those communications as well using communications mining. We saw the example of the emails, like where the customers are reaching out to the team regarding different kinds of requests. So communications mining automatically categorize and it provides you insight, and if it's about the feedback, it tells you whether your customer is happy or not. So it also helps you dig deeper into your insights. And the automation hub, a single platform where you can maintain your automation pipeline, you can prioritize them, and also encourage your employees to submit automation idea or any components, personal development, personal automations that they have built, they can submit it in Automation Hub. So basically a single roof for all the requirements of your end-to-end automation. And yep, that brings me almost towards the end. And here we have all these different products. So if you want to learn more about these different products, take a course in our UiPath Academy. And yeah, now we have a quick quiz. And I will request Rohit
Yep.
to,
Perfect. Thank you, Jyoti. So we have a quick quiz. Don't worry, not very intimidating. So you can just take out your phones, just scan this QR code and join the quiz. I'll just start the quiz from my end. Okay.
Excuse me, it's not connecting from my side.
Just a sec. Let me check. Yeah, can you try, just refresh and try again?
Yep.
I see few people have already
Yeah,
joined.
now
Yeah.
now it's fine. Now it's fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for highlighting. If you are not able to join the QR code, just as mentioned in the slide, just go to www.menti.com and just use the passcode to enter the quiz room. So the winner of the quiz gets some fun gifts from UiPath. Worth a shot. I see there are a few people coming in.
can UiPathers also participate to get the gifts?
Sorry?
Can UiPathers also participate in the quiz?
You can participate and then give the, forward the gift to someone else. Okay. I'll just request Jyoti to keep the slide on for some 30 seconds and then
Sure.
we have 15 people in the room already. For the last 15 seconds. Anyone struggling to join the quiz, just mention on chat if you are.
I joined the quiz, but it hasn't started yet.
Yeah, it hasn't started yet. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, Jyoti, maybe I can share my screen now. Thank you for this.
Let me stop sharing.
Okay, just I'll just wait for 10 more seconds. If you still haven't joined, I would just request you to go to menti.com and just use the code as you can see on the screen. The quiz has not started yet, so don't worry. I think we are there. So before I start, I'll just quickly share the rules if you have not been part of the quiz earlier. So the questions will pop up. This will be multiple choice questions. There is one right answer to every question. So you have to get the answers right. Now, getting the answers right in this case is a good start, but that doesn't cut it. You also have to give the answer the fastest as compared to others. So overall, at the end of the 4 questions, we will have a leaderboard, and whoever wins it has a special reward from UiPath for this. So I think we are ready. Just we'll take it light. Don't worry. You will have some time to answer all the questions, but make sure you read the question carefully. You don't need to look at the Zoom screen right now. Just focus on your device where the quiz will appear, and you can answer the questions on your phone if you have logged in through your phone. So I'm going to start the quiz now. And here we go. The first question, what does UiPath process mining help organizations to identify? Bottlenecks and inefficiencies in processes, marketing strategies, customer preferences, financial trends. Okay, and the answer is bottlenecks and inefficiencies in processes. So 11 of you have gotten it right. Let's see.
I'm not getting where to select that.
Sorry? You're not able to select an answer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure of that.
But anyways, never mind. Let's continue.
Yeah,
No
no
worries.
worries. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see whoever got the chance to answer. Roman, well done. You have a good start. We have Adam's magical rhino just falling back. But don't worry, we have many more questions to come back. We have 3 more to go. So I'm very quickly moving to the next question. For the second question, I see 13 players are ready. 14 are ready. And I'm quickly going to the question. So please look at your phone screens for the question. What is UiPath Automation Hub primarily used for? Read the options carefully. Identifying and managing automation or process improvement opportunity, prioritizing automation opportunities based on KPIs, generating reports to visualize the performance, collaborating to explain the automation cycle, all of the above or none of the above. Okay. I'm not sure if everyone has responded, but 5 of you have gotten this right. Let's see. Okay, so I think there's going to be some change. Adams has got a lead. Roman, MC, Abdel, you are right behind. So quickly go to the question number 3 as well to keep the pace on. Okay, some issue at the Menti platform. I'm so sorry.
Excuse me, I have an
Yeah.
issue, like unexpected problem when loading the quiz. Is it
Yeah,
from you?
I see the same issue on my screen as well, as you can see.
It says reload to join another quiz.
Yeah, I think there is some issue at the server and issues connecting to this. Let me. I'm so sorry, guys. This is terrible. Okay, have
It
you
works now.
joined? It works now. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll so don't worry, we have not lost anything. We'll start from the question number 3 itself. Everything is saved. I hope we are ready. I think we have 17 players now. I'll go to the quiz. So just focus on your device to answer. Which of the following is the correct with respect to UiPath communication mining? It helps fetch data from unstructured documentation, takes unstructured comms data and turns into actionable structured data. Communication mining helps fetch data from desktop applications and none of the above. Okay. Okay. Half of you have mentioned it correctly. Let's see the leaderboard again. Thank you all for being patient with this. Oh, it's crazy. Let me try again if this works. I'm so sorry, guys. I have no idea why this is happening to Menti. Let me see if refreshing will help. Guys, I think there is an issue at the server end at the Menti platform. I'm so sorry about that.
And it's not showing my name as well.
Who's that, Karthik?
Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry, guys.
No worries.
But yeah, do we know who was there in the leaderboard in the last question? Yeah, there is some issue at the Menti end. I'm so sorry, guys. I do not have a fix for this as it's an external platform. I just refreshed it. But what I'll do, guys, is I will just fetch the winner from the three questions that we did, and I will reach out to you with a voucher which you can redeem. So sorry to get this stuck because we are also going beyond time on this. Meanwhile, any other questions that you want to ask to our speakers from the session?
We had one open question where someone was looking to see the input data for process mining. So maybe Jyoti could show it on her screen.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So the ask is to view the input data.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So here you can see I have entered into the edit mode of the app, and here all these tables which basically will be loaded in for this particular app, and you can view all the input data directly over here, the different tables and the columns and all those information basically. Okay, any other question from anyone? I can see Anja has answered most of the questions in the chat directly. So any questions? I know we
Just a
are
new
already over
question.
time.
Just a new question popped up. What do the company need to do or have in order to perform the analysis example presented today and implement the automation app?
What does the company need to do or have in order to perform the analysis example presented today and implement the automation app? Okay, so like if you are already using UiPath platform, is there any follow-up question on that? Okay, so if you're already using the platform and you don't have these products, so feel free to reach out the contact person, your Spark from your organization to UiPath, whoever is the contact person in UiPath, and they can help you with this.
Yeah.
Any other question?
I think we don't have any questions. Do you want to kind of share the screen on the next? Oh yeah, Adams has a question.
Okay, let me.
Whether it's
Is it
available for
available?
on-prem users.
Yeah.
Are you asking for any specific product? Process mining is definitely available on-prem. Task mining is only available, like the assisted task mining is only available on cloud. And coming to communications mining, which is also only available on cloud, and Automation Hub is both on-prem as well as cloud. Okay, any other question? Otherwise, if you would like to connect with us, here we have tagged our LinkedIn links. And yep, that's all, I think.
Yeah, awesome. Just also, as Mihai has just posted on the chat, I would request you to go to the DevDives landing page and register for the next DevDive session that is happening on July 31 on boosting tester productivity with coded automation and autopilot. So be an early registrant so that it stays in your calendar and you don't miss out on the live session. Perfect. I will
Perfect.
stop the recording.